Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of the Shift Change Videocast. I'm Matt, this is Tom.
I'm Tom.
This is the Steve Christie edition.
Ooh.
You got a number 2?
Tim Horton.
Tim Horton, okay, there we go. Some good players.
Yeah.
Usually we have bad players for these. But Steve Christie...
There's not really any bad number 2s you can think of.
Would you rather have...
Sorry, childish. What?
Would you rather have Steve Christie or Dan Carpenter?
Steve Christie?
I think things have changed a little bit with kicking. Do you notice no one ever misses a field goal anymore? Like, they just don't miss?
That's true. Well, yesterday they were like, oh, I don't know, Mason Crosby's been real bad lately. Boom, overtime.
Easy.
It's fine.
Maybe they're deflating the footballs. Patriots.
You cheaters.
You got a hot take on that?
If they were deflated, wouldn't that mean it was easier for the Colts receivers to catch the ball?
It would be the Patriots deflating their ball.
Oh, okay.
And they would have it be easier. I think that's... I don't know. It hasn't been investigated yet.
Well, either way, it probably doesn't really
The Patriots are cheaters.
They are cheaters. They're stupid,
cheaters.
Horrendous cheaters, and they're a really good football team who beat the Colts 45-7.
They crushed them. Have you looked back at Spygate and the reporting done on it?
No.
It is amazing.
I don't like to read.
When you go back and read it, it's amazing how much cheating they did and got away with. It's incredible. Like,
I'm not really surprised.
It's way more than you think. Like, it was messing with radio frequencies and...
What?
Like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, having video of the other team's audibles and things like that. I'm serious. You need to go back and look at it. Because without Twitter, the outrage was pretty limited.
Yeah.
It was just, media, but no one really wanted to listen.
And now deflated footballs is like, because
now it's
everyone can talk about it and yell some more.
So,
let's just kick the Patriots out of the league.
I think we should.
Let's do it.
People are going to look at Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and just put them in the Hall of Fame and talk about how amazing they are, and all this other stuff will just be over there. It's never going to get talked about.
Well, someone should talk about it.
They should. It's kind of like how Willie Mays and some of the guys back in the day used greenies and that sort of thing, like speed, more or less.
Oh,
before games.
When you call it speed, that sounds different.
They were called greenies, but they were kind of like speed.
Greenies sounds pretty innocuous. Yeah, pop some greenies. It's cool.
They were just available in the locker rooms.
No.
And it got a little whitewashed.
Sure.
The same thing with cocaine in the 80s and baseball and things like that. And that part of that will probably happen with the Patriots. Like, oh, they were great.
It already has. Whatever. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, so I don't care.
Oh. You don't think they're going to win?
No, they're not going to win.
Seattle's going to win?
Absolutely.
Well, Russell Wilson's got to not throw 4 interceptions.
He won't. He got it out of his system. He'll be fine.
Was that not the most Buffalo ending to a game
for Green Bay?
Packers?
When the guy picks it off at midfield and, with 5 minutes left, decides to slide and is like, okay, I get that if it's the last possession of the game. You're like, oh, get down. But no, we could take this farther. We could get another field goal. Nope. We're going to slide down. We're going to run 3 short plays, get out of there, and give the Patriots the ball back with the Seattle Seahawks the ball back with so much time.
There was a Doug Maroning of that game last night, too.
There was a lot of Doug Maroning going on.
There was so much Doug Maroning. They had the ball 4th and 1 at the, 2-yard line, and decided to kick a field goal with Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy as players on your football team. I understand if Rodgers is hurt, you can't QB sneak. Your running back weighs 7,000 pounds and runs a 4.3.
I still think you could QB sneak with Rodgers.
You probably could.
He seemed fine.
You know what? You could bring in another guy to QB sneak.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the backup. I mean, even if they know it's coming, like that QB sneak works all the time.
Teams know the QB sneak is coming when the QB sneak is coming. And the QB sneak still works.
You just throw it.
Or throw it.
Because you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Or any number of things. Just...
And
so many points on the board.
There were points on the board that were left playing too conservative when they get the ball back after Seattle scores. And then they just run a couple of times and punt it back to them. Seattle did a bad punt thing. It was 4th down and 10 or something at midfield with 4 minutes left, and they punted. And Green Bay just hand off, punt it back. Amazing Doug Maroning of that game.
As much as I hate the Patriots, I mean... They're up whatever to whatever late in the game, and it's 3rd down, and they just go deep.
And they QB sneaked on 4th down in the red zone too.
Yeah.
So they don't just win because they cheat always.
They're also good, but I'd still like them out of the league.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to ask you about, Tom,
Okay.
is the Sabres.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of at the unofficial midway point of
Right.
the Sabres season.
47 games in.
There's 35 games to go, but it's the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So everything is on track.
That's great. I'm fine with it.
We're kind of exactly where we thought we would be.
Yeah. I mean, it's a last place team. They were last place last year. They added some old guys, who don't play too much necessarily.
No, or well, when they do play.
Or play well. And, it's fine. Whatever. Be 30th. You did a good job. This is what we wanted.
How about a little bit of a game, a little good and bad? Good
Okay.
and Sabres. I'll give you a good thing about where the season is. You give me a bad thing.
Okay.
You get to be negative.
Oh,
It's typical
God.
afternoon show.
But I'm a ray of positivity on this station.
I
don't
know.
what you're
That's
talking
why
about.
it's being ironic
Oh,
for
okay.
you to name the bad
Okay.
things. Okay, good things. Zemgus Girgensson. That's a great thing.
Absolutely.
I think he's deserving of being an all-star, considering that his team is horrible, and he's the only reasonably good player in terms
And
of.
he's on track for like 25
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah, he could score.
25 goals.
I don't know if he's gonna get to 25, but he could score 20.
He's close.
Him and Ennis.
Yeah. Great.
I'll say that's a good thing.
Yeah. Bad thing, at least lately, Rasmus Ristolainen.
He's been struggling a bit.
You wanted to have this like symbol of the future of how awesome things are going to be. A number one defenseman, no doubt about it, kicking ass and taking names, and now he's just
The names thing.
Yeah, he's tailing off a little.
Well,
bit. Not tailing off. He's hit a bad stretch.
and I don't think people understand when it comes to a defenseman how tough it is to be at his age.
Oh yeah.
To play defense in the NHL at that age. You almost don't see anybody play at 18 or 19 years old in the NHL because it takes so much consistency, and every time you make a mistake, everyone sees it. If you're a forward and you don't back check hard, it's usually it kind of gets thrown under the rug. Maybe a reporter points it out, but most fans watching the puck aren't going to see you not back checking. They're going to be watching the puck. When Ristolainen the other night kind of went running around for a hit and it ends up turning into a goal, everybody saw it.
Right.
So I understand.
It was pretty clear on the replay too.
I understand.
There it is.
I still think that he is the best player on the team. I mean, the most talented player with the highest ceiling on the current.
It's just you kind of wish that they had like one flawless prospect, so you could just be like future, and now you're just like future a little less loud.
I am not deterred in the slightest on Rasmus Ristolainen. By a bad stretch, not at all. Not with
Well,
his
you're
age.
making me be negative, so
that's a good
I'm
point.
trying here.
Okay, good things. They cooled off after that hot stretch.
Which was just crap.
It was.
I mean, they scored a little bit more than usual, and they got great goaltending. Now it's just they don't score, except for last game. Actually, the last two games, they're above their... I mean, they were at a goal per game for 9 games, and now they picked it up.
3 and 4 is... that's a big haul for them.
Yeah, that's huge. It's massive, even. But...
The goalies came back to earth. Okay, I'm going to go to a little bit of a bad thing here, though. I was kind of hoping that one of these goalies would emerge as the guy, and they would re-sign one of them, and we would know who the goalie was. Because in Rochester right now, the goaltending is not good.
Right.
And you're talking about European prospects, guys who are years away, or free agency options, just thinking forward here down the line. Enroth and Neuwirth have just been meh.
I've still gotten the impression that it's Enroth over Neuwirth.
Yeah.
I mean, that against Philly, the partial breakaway straight through the 5-hole the other night, I was just like, oh, man, what was that? That doesn't look right.
Enroth's numbers are a little worse. Just a little bit. Now, if you go back to 2010 and use bigger samples, Enroth is a decent goalie. In fact, if you use even strength save percentage, he has the same even strength save percentage since 2010 as Jonathan Quick.
Okay, sign me up for Enroth.
But Quick has been an every night starter, and Enroth has not been an every night starter. I still think I would have liked to have felt like one goalie had emerged by halfway through the season. I guess that's not a good thing. There were times when Enroth played great, but I don't know if either one of these guys is a number one.
Maybe not, but who cares right now?
The thing to feel great about is the overall direction. Jack Eichel, here's the other thing too. Jack Eichel has been amazing at BU. And Connor McDavid was incredible at the World Juniors and has been incredible, like record-setting pace in Erie. If one of those two guys had been bad, then this would have taken us all back a notch. Like,
We
what are we
start
doing
to
this
question
for?
the tank, but they've maintained, so you still get to 30th, and then you get one of them, guaranteed. And you feel great about it.
Are you worried about that? Because I'm not. I'm very confident now.
I feel great about the tank. The Oilers, I've been watching some Oilers games. Like, you watch the Sabres, like, this is crap. These are bad guys. You watch the Oilers, it's much more competitive lately.
So what do you got for nerd stuff? Anything?
Okay, I've been watching the old Michael Keaton Batman movies, and, I mean, whenever you say, like, oh, Dark Knight is the best, Heath Ledger's Joker is the best, you get some people saying, no, the original Batman is the best.
This goes for, like, cover songs. When a band covers a song that was old and
Yeah.
they do it better,
Yeah.
like Jimi Hendrix does it better. Is there some guy out there who says, no man, Dylan's All Along the Watchtower, that's the real jam?
Yeah, ugh. But you're banging the drum for the original out of some sort of loyalty, and to some extent I get it, but go back and watch the 1989 Batman. I mean, Michael Keaton with his rubber suit, like, walking stiffly, it looks ridiculous. He's a skinny little guy with abs sculpted into his suit. He's kind of funny. It's a lighter take on Batman. It's pretty nice. They, for some reason, make the Joker the guy that kills his parents in this, like, weird sort of connectivity thing that was completely unnecessary.
Didn't like that.
And it's so tonally inconsistent. You got, like, a little bit of Tim Burton weirdness. He hasn't quite established the Tim Burton feel yet. Mm-hmm. And then he has, like, old-timey Depression-era gangsters in their giant suits and their hats and stuff. You're like, okay, it looks like Dick Tracy. This is cool. And then all of a sudden, Prince is on the soundtrack. And I like Prince, but if you're making, like, an old-timey gangster movie,
Prince is awesome.
You don't mix your Danny Elfman score with your Prince tunes and then have the Joker go wandering around in a museum with a guy with a boombox over his shoulder to a Prince song, and all of his goons are now wearing leather bomber jackets
just
and
totally
sunglasses.
bizarre.
It was so weird. It's just like, I get it. It's the first Batman. Keaton was pretty good. Jack Nicholson was pretty good. The writing is not. The directing is not. Why is this even a discussion? The Dark Knight is like the holy grail of
Superhero movies? We're almost there?
Of a serious superhero movie, not like a comic book movie, but a story that tells a superhero story in sort of a realistic setting. It blows the original one away in this regard.
Can I say, before we wrap up on the podcast, videocast thingy here,
Yes.
the second one with Michael Keaton was better.
It was more tonally consistent.
Yeah.
There was no
It was
Prince
dark.
soundtrack. It was dark. It had that Tim Burton feel.
Yeah.
And say what you want about Tim Burton now, at least he had a cohesive vision in that second movie. And I thought it was pretty good. And I thought Danny DeVito was
He
great.
was great, yeah. The Penguin.
And then someone will come out and say, oh, Burgess Meredith was the original Penguin. He was the best. I'm like, he just went, I'll get you, Batman.
Yeah.
And, like, there was, like, humor and some weird sort of sexual creepiness.
Yes.
And it played very well, I
And
thought.
you know what you get to? You feel bad for the Penguin.
Yeah.
You feel like, man, this guy is just so messed up. It's not even his fault, but
Yeah.
like he's still really evil and probably needs to die.
Yeah. And then then he does in, like, those weird, like, little people in penguin suits that pass for real penguins carry him off into the water, and you little tear action.
Yeah, that's really strange.
So that's what I think of the old school Batmans.
I still like him.
I still like them. It's just I don't
They're
want to
not anywhere close to Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's the point. Thank you.
Shift Change Videocast.